Representative Jordan, a Republican, focused a lot on the credibility of Michael Cohen rather than the potential criminality of Donald Trump during Cohen's testimony. And what I particularly loved was this exchange between Jordan and Cohen. Now, Jordan brought up BuzzFeed and its report and how the Mueller's office had disputed the BuzzFeed report and noted how Lanny Davis went on TV and wouldn't confirm or deny the story. Now, this is the story about how Cohen was told to lie by Donald Trump. Remember, that was reported by BuzzFeed, and then later Mueller came out and said that that wasn't a completely accurate report. Now, that's what this whole exchange is about, but that's not really something that matters. What matters is how Cohen responded to it. Take a look.
The president has told something over 9,000 lies to date. Do I ask Mr. Davis or Mr. Monaco, or do I go on television in order to correct his mistakes?
When Mr. Davis goes on to talk about that specific subject,
the answer is no. And I would like to also...
time has, listen up. The gentleman's time has expired. You may finish answering the question, and then we're going to go to Mr. Connolly.
All I wanted to say is I just find it interesting, sir, that between yourself and your colleagues, that not one question so far since I'm here has been asked about President Trump. That's actually why I thought I was coming today. Not to confess the mistakes that I've made. I've already done that. And I'll do it again every time you ask me about taxes or mistakes. Yes, I made my mistakes. I'll say it now again. And I'm gonna pay the ultimate price. But I'm not here today, and the American people don't care about my taxes. They want to know what it is that I know about Mr. Trump. And not one question so far has been asked about Mr. Trump.
So I thought it was important for Cohen to call out Republican representatives in the way that he just did, because what he said was absolutely true. What you saw in the line of questioning, especially when you compare Democrats to Republicans, was that Republicans had absolutely no interest in seeking the truth about Donald Trump and the potential crimes he may have committed, whereas Democrats focused mostly on that issue, right? And so it shows you where the loyalties lie for Republican lawmakers. And for me, it was kind of depressing to watch how it was all carried out, because in order for Donald Trump to, let's say it's all proven that he's committed some serious crimes, in order for him to be held accountable for those crimes, you need the Republicans to do the right thing, right? To hold him accountable, to work with Democrats to ensure that justice is carried out, but they have no interest in that. So when Michael Cohen spoke out in the way that he just did, it in a way felt like a little bit of a relief, because I wanted some accountability. I wanted someone to call them out for what they were really doing.
And usually the witnesses are very timid because they're intimidated by Congress. But remember, Michael Cohen was a thug for Trump. So he's like, I'll come right back at you. And so I'm gonna give credit to people in a sec, but let's note that before Michael Cohen, when he came to testify in front of Congress and he still worked for Trump and was still lying for Trump, the Republicans loved him.
Yes.
All of them were like, yeah, of course, Michael Cohen, he's totally right, he's a wonderful guy, etc. Then Michael Cohen goes, all right, we committed these crimes, me and Trump. Sorry, I lied about it, and I'm gonna go to prison for it, right? They're like, I can't believe what a liar this guy is. He's the worst. We always knew he was the worst. Oh, come on. Again, this is why people hate politicians. Now, the two people I'm gonna give credit to is, one is Michael Schur. We're covering this live in the morning, and he said it before Michael Cohen did. He's like, notice they're not asking it when we do the play-by-play coverage. All political events, major political events, tyt.com/live, we do play-by-play. And Michael Schur is like, notice they haven't asked a single question about Donald Trump. So every Republican is asking, oh, Cohen, how about this? Why would you lie about that? And they'll get into tangential issues.
Right.
Do any of you want to find out if it actually happened or didn't happen?
I think they know.
Of course.
I think they know, or at least they suspect some criminality on Trump's part, and that's the reason why they don't want to ask those questions. In fact, most of the questions asked by Republicans were specifically done to like ruin any credibility that Michael Cohen might have, right? They want to call into question Cohen's credibility, and over again, they brought up the fact that he had lied, and he's paying the consequences for that. But the only reason why they're bringing up the fact that he had lied, by the way, on behalf of Donald Trump, was to destroy any ounce of credibility that he has.
Yeah, there's a comical moment when one of the Republican representatives tried to insinuate that Michael Cohen paid off Donald Trump's mistresses for his own benefit. And Cohen's like, but why would I pay off somebody else's mistress? That makes no sense, because they don't care about the truth. They're just trying to damage him politically, which leads me to give him credit to Congressman Jamie Raskin. I thought he had the line of the day when he said, look, let's be honest about what's happening here. Our Republican colleagues are not bothered that Michael Cohen is lying. They're bothered that he stopped lying.
That's exactly right.
Bingo, okay? And lastly, on this issue, at some point in the hearings, the Republicans came out and put up a picture of Michael Cohen on a giant poster behind them, behind the Republican congressman, that said, liar, liar, pants on fire. US congressmen, third graders. That's what I used to say in third grade.
It's amazing.
I mean, absolute children.
So how is that conduct okay? But what Rashida Tlaib had to say about Mark Meadows is not okay.
And I'll tell you why, because there's rules in Congress that say you're not allowed to criticize in a way that is insulting to your colleagues in Congress, whereas you can do anything you want to a witness. But it goes to the elitism, right? If you're in the club, no one is ever allowed to criticize you. If you're not in the club, they can do whatever they want to any regular American. But I do declare, if you're in the club, you're not allowed to call anyone else a racist. And so that's why Meadows got all emotional. I guess he got triggered later in the day by Rashida Tlaib saying, strike it for the record, strike it. Hey, we already saw it. Yeah, like back in the 1800s, if you had it stricken from the record, nobody would ever see it. We have cameras, Mark.
It's so funny, it's so funny. The record exists, and it'll exist for the rest of your life and the rest of humankind.
On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.